Our goal is your satisfaction. Let us show you the way.
How long do you smoke a brisket at 225? Set your pellet grill to 225 degrees Fahrenheit and preheat, lid closed, for 15 minutes. Place brisket on the grill grate fat side down, and cook for approximately 6 hours or until the internal temperature reaches 160 degrees Fahrenheit. Is 250 too high for brisket? According to some pitmasters, you should always aim for a smoker temperature of 250 degrees when making smoked brisket. At this temperature, the meat will cook more quickly than it would at 225 degrees, but it will still have the time it needs to achieve a nice tender texture. Is it okay to smoke a brisket at 200 degrees? Although brisket can be prepared at slightly higher temperatures, we usually recommend 225 degrees, but it's possible to turn the smoker up to 275 and still end up with good results. 200 degrees is perfectly acceptable. At 200 degrees, beef brisket should cook at a rate of 1-1/2 to 2 hours per pound. How long does it take to smoke a 5 pounds brisket? How long does it take to smoke a 5-pound brisket? It might take from 5 to 7 hours. Still, with the fast and hot style you will make the process much faster, or wrapping the meat piece in a foil will make the cooking shorter, of course. Can you cook brisket at 250? I like to plan 90 minutes for every pound of smoked brisket, including the rest or hold temperature, when cooking at 250 degrees Fahrenheit. The total cook can be anywhere from 8 hours to 16 depending on the size of the cut. It is normal that every brisket you cook will vary in time. Raj. 23, 1441 How long does it take to smoke a 10 pounds brisket at 225? You can usually figure about 1.5 hours per pound at 225 degrees for brisket, pork shoulder and other larger pieces of meat. Several things can affect this time, such as actual meat thickness, wind, temperature and how often you open the door of the smoker. How do you keep a smoked brisket juicy? To keep your brisket moist and juicy, put a water pan in your smoker and spray it with water, apple cider vinegar, or apple juice every 30 to 60 minutes. Using the Texas crutch is another way to lock in moisture. This technique involves wrapping the brisket with butcher paper or foil when it reaches about 160 F. How long will a 3 pounds brisket take to smoke? You can expect a 3-pound brisket to take about 4 to 5 hours on the smoker. Remember that if it's a portion of the point rather than the flat, it can cook to a higher internal temperature without drying out. This is due to the higher fat content in the point end. Are you supposed to flip a brisket? Flipping the brisket does even out the exposure of the meat to heat. Ideally, flip and rotate your brisket at least once during the cooking. If you need the fat to shield the meat from the fire, then leave it fat side down for the majority of the time. Shah. 23, 1441 How long does a 12-pound brisket take to smoke? At that temperature, a 12-pound brisket could take 8 to 12 hours or longer, depending on how well you manage the fire. 4 to 5 hours in 250 degree smoke and 4 to 5 hours at 250 degrees wrapped in foil is an approximate timeline for a 12-hash packer brisket, as long as you maintain a steady 225 to 250 degree fire and are not opening the wrap. I-21, 1433
Take our lead. Let's help you make your mark.